John, John chapter 4, verse 23. But the hour, but the hour cometh, and now is when the true worshippers shall worship the Father in spirit and in truth. For the Father seeketh such to worship him. God, Yahweh, is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth. I'd like to give all prayers and honor and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, HaKodash, the water Yah, Bahashem, Yahushua, for giving us the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone, who deserve double honors, rightfully so. Shalom to the Aki and pushing the word in sincerity and truth and being faith-based and being prepared for what is to come. And what is to come? Race wars, famine, concentration camps, the RFID chip, which is the mark of the beast. 200 million missiles hitting the soils of America. Simultaneously, the chariots of the Lord lifting up the hopeful elect into the chambers. Simultaneously, the chariots of the Lord shooting laser beams at the ungodly and the heathens. Rightfully so. I was dwelling on these two verses right here. It was very spiritual, and so I had to dig a little deeper because I was you find out your nationality, your heritage through the scriptures, and you find out who is for and who is not for, and because the flesh could throw you off, right? The flesh could throw you off, but the spirit can't throw you off. Like the scripture said, our spirit bears witness with this. How it goes? This is Romans. And I brought this out. The spirit guides me in this quest of righteousness to get this out. Just this holy conversation that I'm having, and because when you read about this chapter and it goes into the history, where Yahushua was talking to this Samaritan woman, and she wasn't one of us, and it goes back to the spirit, the spirit of Yahweh Yahushua. So so I'm just dwelling on the spirit, and just when you live in your life, you if you don't understand the scriptures, you won't be able to be spiritual. See, that's what Yahushua was explaining here. The Yahweh is a spirit, and he deals with specific spirits. All right, and it's a spiritual test. It's not a carnal minded. It's not a carnal test. All right, because you could look like somebody and not be the same person. You could look like a certain batch of people but not be them, because your spirit don't dwell with them. All right, so I was just like, I was going over these two verses because it's in truth. Because this is for truth's sake. All right, this is why the All right, let me see something. Bear witness. I want to bring out this verse real fast. With our spirit. If the Lord allows, because the verse just popped in my head. I want to see if I can find it. Because all right, Romans chapter 8, verse 16. The Spirit itself beareth witness for our spirit that we are the children of Yahweh. So my point is that it's a spiritual war that's going on right now, and the Lord is distinguishing who is going to do it in spirit and truth. Right? Who's gonna contend for Him against these wicked spirits? Because that's the battle right there, spiritual battle. All right, so our spirit bear witness with their spirit, and if we're not the same, we're not going to click. That's why being on the right path, the right doctrine is important, because that's the truth. That's where the truth lies at. You can't just come with your own doctrine and then say, "Oh, this is how it's supposed to be." No, it has to be. Let's read it again. All right, it says, the hour has come now. Another thing right now, the hour has come. The hour has come that the true man of the Lord is taking their rightful position in spirit and in truth. That's what Yahweh Shai is clarifying right now. All right, because this is the hour. This the moment. All right. It says Matthew chapter 4 verse 23. But the hour cometh, and now is when the true worshipers should worship the Father. And that's what's happening right now. We're worshiping the Father of Yahweh Shemel Shah. The Father Yahweh, which is the Father, and Yahweh Shah, which is the Son. We are worshiping both of them right now. Right? Should worship the Father in spirit and in truth. All right. So the truth of this matter is that the Lord Yahweh Shema Shah is making a serious separation of who is who is His people and who is not His people. Okay. Now the hour's come, because we dealing with this according to the Spirit. We can't distinguish who the Spirit is. That's why we have to deal with people with meekness and lowliness, and we have to we gotta let the truth come out, because then the truth, to learn the truth about the individual you're dealing with, right? For example, all right, you ask the person, what's your father's father? And they go around talking about what my mother came from this. That's not the truth, because you don't come from your mother, you come from your father. That's the truth, right? It says that in let's see, hopefully this pop up too, the Spirit. It says pedigree. All right. It says right here, Numbers chapter 1, verse 18. And they assemble all the congregation together on the first day of the second month. And they declared their pedigree after their families by the house of their fathers, according to the number of the name, from the 20-year-old and upward by their poll. Okay, so the pedigree. All right, let's go to this word pedigree. H3205. Yalad, right? To bear, bring forth. To bear, bring forth, begot. Gender, trivial. To bear, bring forth, of a childbirth, all right, of distress, all right, to begot, to be born. It's just going into time. Well, I kind of go off there. All right. to declare one's birth. All right. I think that was the pedigree. And it says, let's read this verse again. And they assembled all the congregation together on the first day in the second month, and they declared their pedigree, all right, their birth, all right. Because Yahweh always say, "My son, my begotten son," right? Who I'm well pleased. All right. After their families by the house of their fathers. That's the key point right there. So when people run around, like the Jews does that, the Khazars does that, all right? They'll say, oh, my mother this and my mother that. My mother, my mother. No. What about your father? Because your father carries the sperm. That's your gen. That's where you come from, right? So just wanted to get that point out because we are in the hour. We are in that hour because the true worshipers is being waking up and they seeking salvation. Okay, we're seeking a way out. Uh-oh. We're seeking a way out. And that's how we getting out here through the spirit of truth. All right, which is Yahweh Bashem Shah. Right? It says that too. It says let me see something. I don't know if I can find that verse. I'm trying to think of the word. I brought this out. I found that word in truth. I know it's a revelation. When we talk about when it talks about Yahweh Shah. I can't think of the word. Let me see. I think it's 5. Let's see if 0 is 5. What is it? How it goes? Is it Okay, hold on. Let me see something. Man, I can't even think of the word. So I give brothers, because I was thinking about a word. When she calls Yahweh Shah the true, the maybe I know it has something to do with the because after he was sacrificed, he he became the king, and he was able to loosen the bands of the book, the scriptures. He was the only one to open the book to teach. Now everybody's being taught now because it had to be a certain time where certain individuals had to be woken up. All right, because it is a level to this. All right, from Abba Bibbins up until now, right, in between all that, and then when our apostles got it, they leveled up. They leveled up, and then they held it because I was watching Apostle Tahar the other day. I was listening to him, and he said that he was talking about the book of Daniel. Right? He said, they put it out, and then they held it. They forgot about it. What they put it, they didn't. It was still in their spirit, but it was put to the side to analyze it. To go back over it again. For now, for truth's sake, according to the spirit. So now certain things is being brought up again, right? Before they were saying, I don't know, this individual was talking about how John the Baptist, John is not a man of the Lord, he didn't follow the Lord. So okay, now that's being broken down. And then he said, okay, since y'all individuals think y'all know the scriptures, go break this down. So for truth's sake, these things is being held up. Okay, they're being held in the spiritual files. So now they're coming out. So for truth's sake, these things is happening. And Yahweh Shah is dealing with the men of Great Millstone, the elders. Oh man, I just wanted to see this verse. I thought it was just that one word that when it talks about Yahweh Shah. Because he is the volume of the book. Alright? And that's who it's about. Because he's the healer. He's coming back to heal. And when when Yahweh Shah was speaking to the woman at the well, he was explaining to her, like, listen, nah, you ain't going, you're not one of us. You're here in this land, and the scriptures go back to it. You know, the scriptures clarifies it. Because this topic was up before, about the Samaritan woman. No, according to the Spirit, Yahweh Shah knew who she was, and she wasn't one of us. He knew. That's why it's in the scriptures. For examples. For us to learn how to deal with this spiritually. That's what it's about, dealing with this spiritually. Become a spiritual man. Alright? I think it goes faithful and true. Let me see. I'm trying to think about this verse that's in Revelation. Faithful and true. I'm just thinking about this verse. I know it's in Revelation. Salakia, brothers. I think, let me see. And he sat upon the throne. I think the end. And I saw heaven open, a white horse. And he that sat upon it was called faithful and true and righteous. I could use this one. But yeah. I think it's in here somewhere. But that's the one. I think that's the one though. It was just word. Because Yahweh Shah is the one that opened the book. It was written, and he's the one that released the seals. I just saw that verse 5. I'm going to read this one, though. And I saw, this is Revelation chapter 19, verse 11. And I saw heaven open, and behold, a white horse. And he that sat upon him was called faithful and true, and righteous. In righteousness he doeth judge and make war. That's Yahweh. This is when he coming back. This is when the hour. This is what we're preparing for. This is why we are all preparing the way of Yahweh Shemel Shah. Preparing Yahweh when he get back. You know. This is what's happening now. All right, we are spiritually Johns. Okay, we are making the way for Yahweh Shah. We proclaiming his kingdom for him through salvation, because we want to be saved, right? This is what's about salvation. For us doing what we're doing,